What's up, YouTube? How you guys doing? Are you doing well? I hope you're doing well, and if you're not, then you've come to the right place. Anyways, before we begin, do you like my jacket? It's not really my jacket, but Eddie gave it to me and it looks pretty stylish, and it's cold in Korea, so that's why I'm wearing it. But anyways, this is another segment of my Dear Woojong series where I give you guys advice and tips and my opinion on things that you're concerned about. And I got a question from not one and not two, but a handful of you guys of the same concern or something that you guys are seeking out of my advice. And it goes like this. Dear Woojong, I have a past history of trauma and it's still hurting me. And it's affecting my future. How do I learn to let go and live again? This is a great question because I'm sure every single one of you guys watching this video right now, all of us are fighting a battle that no one really knows about. And so I'm here today because I want to help you guys out. So this video is for anybody that had to deal with some shape or form of abuse in the past, a bad breakup, or some kind of dramatic event that you just couldn't get over yet. Personally, I wanted to share with you guys 2 traumatic events that I had to overcome from the past. Now, when I was much younger, I used to be very obsessed with animals. In particular, I used to want to be a zookeeper. That's how much I loved animals. I loved playing with them, tending for them, feeding them, and just overall, I was an animal lover. And I remember one time, I went to Petco, which is a local pet store near my house with my friends. And I remember I purchased a little mouse with my savings, which was like a whole bunch of pennies. I bought a mouse and I brought it home. Now mind you, my mom, dad, nobody knew that I had a mouse. I brought it home and I loved that little thing so much. I loved it so much that night I stayed up and I made him or her a house in a shoebox. A cute little house for the mouse. Say that fast. A cute little house for the mouse. But anyways, the shoebox, as you guys may be aware, shoeboxes are made out of cardboard. And remember, I'm a little kid, very little kid. I remember I transported the mouse from its plastic bin that they gave me, and I put him in his new house, in the shoebox. And in the morning, he or she chewed its way out and escaped, and I couldn't find it. Now, this is the point where my dad found out that I had a mouse in the house. And he got very upset, and he beat the living, crap out of me. Choking, punching, you name it. He beat the crap out of me. It was pretty rough, because I was a little kid, defenseless. I couldn't really fight a grown man. That's one traumatic event I overcame. The second one is my first, not really first, but my first girlfriend. I loved her with all my heart. And up until this day, when I love something, I love it with all my heart. I don't really do that lukewarm, oh, I like it. When I love something, my whole heart and passion is in it. And I'm not gonna say, and nothing was different back then. I was the same way. I knew I loved this girl. She was my first girlfriend, whatever. One day, I found out that she cheated on me. And it wasn't with just one guy. It was, I never asked for the exact number, but it was, I think it was double digits. That's how many guys she cheated on me with. So, yeah, that was pretty bad. So needless to say, when I found that out, I was pretty devastated and I was crushed. And it took me a long time to get over it. As a matter of fact, I remember after that rough patch in my life, I remember I went through this emo stage in life, and I was just listening to emotional music, alternative punk rock, and I was just angry at the world. And that was who I was, my identity for a good year. But then, I eventually came over it. But Yeah, so I can relate with you guys. I've been through some crazy dark times. You see, the thing is, when it comes to traumatic events that happened in your past, it's more so that it's a battle of the mind, you know? No matter how happy and calm you may feel, it always comes back and bites you and haunts you, you know? And you reflect on it and you're just reminded of everything again, right? You guys feel me on this? But what I need you guys to understand today is that it's completely normal to feel pain, anger, or even sorrow after a tragic event. That's human nature. If you didn't feel that, you wouldn't be human. You'd be a robot. So don't ever think you're dysfunctional or that you're weird that you feel this way. But what's not okay is to feel exactly the same way 5, 10, or even 20 years after it happened. That's when you know it's a problem. If you feel exactly the same way you did when it initially happened, then you know it's a problem. And if it is a problem in your life, let me dive right into it and help you guys out. I'll try to do my best. And remember, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist or nothing. It's just Unsung over here. I'm gonna try my best. So let's get into it. Alright, so the first concept I need for you guys to understand is that time heals. It may not heal everything, but it does heal the wound a little bit, slowly by slowly. Now imagine a time in your life. Now this is the first example I can think of at the top of my head. Imagine a breakup that you went through. Do you remember how you felt that night when you were crying and blowing your nose into those tissues and saying how much you hate him or her and how you're never gonna date again and all men are pigs? Do you remember all that anger and sorrow that you felt? And then do you remember how you felt a week after that? And then maybe a year after that? Right? I'm assuming that in the year mark you felt a lot better. Or maybe even 5 years. Now if you're an older, experienced viewer of mine, please comment down below and let the younger ones know that if you went through something traumatic or you know, like a breakup, please tell them that I'm not spewing lies and that time really does help heal, especially when it comes to things like breakups. But the thing you have to realize about what I'm saying when it comes to time heals is that it might not happen today or tomorrow, but I promise you, maybe from a week from now or a year or 10 years from now, it will lessen the blow. That's factual, I'm telling you. Now the second concept I need you guys to understand is to forgive and forget. Whatever it is that happened, if you hold a grudge or contain bitter thoughts about it, it's just gonna prolong the duration of it. I'm gonna say it again. If you hold a grudge against somebody or an event or some kind of tragedy, all you're doing is just slowly poisoning yourself and your mind. And I know it's easier said than done, but once you forgive whatever it is that happened, whether it's a person or an event, once you forgive it, eventually it will have no more power over you. Now I know it's hard. You know, you're probably listening to me right now and you're saying, Woo-jung, you don't understand me, you don't know what I went through, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. But what does matter is, you are more powerful than that. And once you forgive it, it no longer has a power over you. So you be sovereign over your own mind once again. But I want to make a quick little disclaimer. Just because you forgive it, it doesn't mean that you need to welcome whatever it is back into your life with open arms. So that's why I said the second part, forget. Sometimes it's better to forgive that person or event and just move on. You know what I mean? Like, just because you forgive somebody or whatever happened, it doesn't mean that you need to be like kumbaya holding hands and cheerfully be happy with them again. And that goes along with my next concept, okay? Some people enter your life for a season or for a reason. Now going off of what I just talked about forgiving people, sometimes people are in your lives for a season. So once they do you dirty and you hold a grudge against them, just don't hold that grudge and forgive them. And just walk away from them, for reals. And then they're in your life for less than 3 months or 6 months or maybe a year. Who knows how long that season is, but it doesn't mean that they need to be an essential part of the rest of your life. They don't have to be. What you really gotta do, guys, is you need to take some time and evaluate in your lives. You need to differentiate the individuals that are healthy and good for you. You know, bring out the good traits in you. And then determine and figure out which people in your lives bring out the worst colors in you. the ones that bring you down, the ones that are always gossiping, spreading rumors, the ones that are always complaining, looking for fights. Differentiate the ones that are good for you and the ones that are bad for you. Now, sometimes it's kind of hard to understand and appreciate why someone's in your life, even if it's only for a temporary amount of time, but just hear me out, guys. God makes no mistake. People enter your lives for a reason or for a season. Sometimes some people come into your lives so that you will learn a valuable lesson out of it. Sometimes some people come into your lives so that you can walk away from a broken and a relationship where they cheated on you so that you can learn from it. And I know it's hard to swallow, but sometimes you just have to accept that fact that in everything, every blessing and every cursing, that there is an opportunity for you to learn something from it. So whether it's a friendship that has fallen through, don't feel too much regret and don't feel too sad about it, because you can still walk away from that fallen friendship and learn some stuff from it. Like, perhaps in that friendship it ended because they did you dirty, or they hurt you in a way that you never would have conceived that friend to do to you. Now, even if those terrible things happen to you, you can still learn something from it, so that in the future you won't make the same mistakes. Now, this is especially true when it comes to relationships with our romantic interests. Don't ever get hung up and cry every night for weeks over a relationship that failed, because you know what? That relationship was only for a season of your life, because I promise you, down the road, there's someone much better for you, a much better fit for you, just waiting to happen. But how could you ever meet that person and be ready to date them or marry them if you're still caught up on this ex who cheated on you, or who abused you, or it was a toxic relationship? Right? So just understand that concept, that some people are in your lives for a season and some people are in your lives for a reason. Now, the next concept I want to talk to you guys about is you need to develop a survivor, or in better words, a warrior mindset. Now, you're probably like, WTF, I understand. But what I need you to do is, I need you to stop victimizing yourself and going everywhere you go. You tell the same story to everybody, your little pity party. Oh, she dumped me. Oh, my heart. Or, oh, I lost my job. Oh, blah, blah, blah. We get it. We heard you the first 10, 15, 20 times. You don't need to repeat that same pity party story to everybody that you meet. And maybe it's to your best friend. Maybe you tell it to that person 20 times, 30 times. We're sick of it. Stop victimizing yourself. Now, I'm not trying to come off rude or be mean, but you have to realize that that story is just a part of your life. Maybe it's just one paragraph in a chapter of your life, but it should not define who you are. Hi, my name is Mark, and I got dumped by my high school sweetheart. Do you understand how much of a waste of a time that is? Seriously, don't walk around spewing your pity party story to everybody and making people feel sorry for you. Because at the end of the day, sometimes you're the only person that's going to have your back. Just remember, that's one story in your life, but it's not going to be the story that defines who you are, because you're much better than that. And this story is going to progress into something better and bigger. Promises. So that pity party story you walk around with telling to everybody, I'm going to tell you right now. I know that it hurts and I know it's hard, but it's gonna make you a stronger and a better person because of it. And one day, you're gonna be victorious over it. Maybe not yet, but it's gonna make you a much better and stronger person. And I'm here to tell you guys today that, in my eyes, you guys are the unsung heroes. Because I understand that whatever it is that you went through, I know how much it hurt you. How many nights you cried yourself to sleep, and how much pain you carry around. And you're still here. You're embracing it. You didn't give up. You're still living. You guys are the unsung heroes. Think about it. The other heroes that are always in the public limelight. like veterans, firefighters, cancer survivors. I'm a veteran. You know what I mean? Like, we always get called heroes and thank you and all that, but I'm here today to tell you that you are an unsung hero. And I'm so proud of you. Here is your recognition. You're still in there, you're still hanging on, and I'm so proud of you. Between you and me, that takes a lot of guts. So hang in there, because you're an unsung hero. But you have to remember, you need to keep that mentality instead of walking around victimizing yourself. Remember that you're an unsung hero because you embraced it and you overcame it. Now the last concept I need for you guys to understand in overcoming this traumatic event that happened in your past that still affects you today is that you need to have mind over matter. Now what I mean by that is you need to be more gentle to yourself, especially with the words that you feed your mind. Instead of saying, oh, I'm so fat and no one will ever love me again, or I'm so stupid, that's why I got fired, blah, 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 blah. Stop. You don't need to be that negative and pessimistic. Try different words. You're capable of using other words that are more positive and that can give you a more of an optimistic outlook in life. You can do it. Whatever it is that happened to you, fill in the blank. No longer has power over me. I refuse to let it waste another day in my life. I refuse to spend more time moping over it. Say it. What is it? What is it that's bothering you? Say it. And then say this. Fill in the blank. No longer has power over me. I refuse to let it ruin and waste another day. Say it out loud. Say it right now. You see, guys, when it comes to overcoming these negative events that happened in the past, you really gotta stop feeding fuel to the fire. You need to unplug its power source that's in your mind. You need to constantly remind yourself. Not just once or twice, but every day. And if you have to, every morning when you wake up and every night before you sleep. You need to tell yourself, I am no longer a slave to this. Say it. I am no longer a slave to this. Did you say it? Set yourself free. Seriously, it's all in the mind. Set yourself free. Fake it if you have to. You know, sometimes you're gonna have to fake it while you're crying because you're not really over it. But set yourself free because one day you really will be free. And I know you don't believe me right now and you think I'm just one of those crazy lunatics that are just spewing stuff on the internet, but one day you're gonna wake up and you'll realize that you're finally over it and once you realize how much time and days you wasted, you know, just focusing and with the narrow mindset on what happened to you in the past, you'll realize never again. Just hold on and keep fighting the good fight, guys, because eventually you will get over it. If you make it to the end of this video, I want you to comment down below to encourage one another. I am no longer a slave. I am no longer a slave. Now you're probably gonna have to watch this video again. A couple times, multiple times. And you know what? Let me give you some advice. You should probably take notes because watch this video again and take some notes because I really want you to get over whatever it is that's haunting you. Because this should no longer haunt you. I want you to be free and live the rest of your lives. Because remember, what did I say? We are no longer slaves, right? I am no longer a slave. If you liked what you saw today, then please do not hesitate to ask me on Twitter or on Instagram and use the hashtag #DearWuJong and ask me something. Something that's been bugging you, bothering you, concerning you, and you don't know who else to ask, don't be afraid to ask me. So I'll do my best to answer whatever it is and give you my opinion and advice. And with that said, have a good day, guys, and remember, you're no longer a slave to it. Fake it if you have to, but one day you really will be free. Peace. Woo! 안녕하세요. I just wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you to the individuals supporting me on Patreon. Thank you for allowing me to do YouTube full time. I really appreciate it, y'all. 안녕. Thank you for watching my video. If you don't want to miss out on more feel-good uploads to spread the love, then please subscribe. Also,
Follow me on Instagram for daily encouraging posts. And remember, let's be love. I believe in you.